Did I mention I took all the shit off? I think I did. Okay. Hey, guess what? My subframe came in. And this came off a 01 3.2 TL 5-speed automatic. And this is a 2-piece subframe. We're looking at the top right now. It bolts together and it sits something like that. So this is going to be the fucking fun game to play. Went and got me a Harbor Freight cross brace support to leave room for us to fuck around underneath. Say hi, Mitch. Yeah, look at all that room. So we don't have the legs of our hoist underneath there today. And I went and picked that bad boy up last night. One note on this, as far as at least the Acura here goes, this shelf is not very fucking beefy. So step one for my rig is toe strap to the connectors for the upper control arm, and I run a bolt through there, and so that's got toe strap, and he's pulling the body there, along with, because I'm a tinner, sheet metal screws that are run into the fender top and bottom. You can kind of see the white heads there as well. So with that, I've tied on, and frankly the chain that came with it, it's pretty, but it's not big enough to even take, you know, the bolts that I needed it to. So I used my chain and stuff off of my spreader bar and hooked everything up, and I've got it supported. And I took to where that's the front motor mount, and all I did was take the nut off the top of it, and we're gonna drop the subframe with that whole motor mount and just leave the bracket. I'm gonna do the same thing on the back, and Lord knows I can't show it to you because it's friggin' buried, but it's somewhere underneath and behind all that shit, pretty much behind those radiator tubes for the heat inside. Everything else underneath is just about ready to go. This is the O2 sensor number 1. O2 sensor number 2 is being a bitch because the subframe is completely blocking it. So I've got to get that out of the way yet. Then we can drop the exhaust. Once the exhaust is dropped, I guess the next order of business, just so we don't fuck it up, is going to be to take the shifter cable off the transmission and swing him out of the way. Once we get those two, we'll be able to drop this subframe. Actually, let me roll on my back here and show you the rack. I'm going to leave the rack on the subframe. I'm going to take, there's 2 connectors. Well, I'll show you later. It'll be easier to show you when it's on the floor. But there's 2 connectors that I'm going to take loose off of that off of the rack, and then the rack will drop with the subframe. So looks like next step is to unhook a couple more little clips and shit and make sure we're not connected anywhere, and it's coming down, at least the subframe, and God willing the fucking motor and tranny ain't gonna come down. Old, new, well, semi-new. We already transferred the motor mount. Yeehaw. Oh, yeah, exhaust down. Fucking trans shift cable down. I don't think we can see very much here. That's the old subframe. That's where the lower control arm pushed everything in and fucked it all up. And so, yes, here's the new subframe. It's already wearing the power steering rack and motor mount and all that good stuff. And so, good times are being had, I assure you. Well, it really went in rather quickly and easily. Started on the back, bolted up the rear portion, took and tied it onto the rear motor mount first. Had to have the lower control arm for this side in place because the bolt for it, where it runs through here, will be blocked by your transmission mounts, etc. etc., etc. So we got the back part in, then we put the front part in. I still got to put the wings that tie back onto here, but we'll see if the bushings come with in that kit. So yeah, the subframe is done. Done. And let's go look at the other side where the shit really was pushed in. And now, by comparison, what was in here before, I mean, this is just oily dust. That's nice and clean. Beautiful. It's in great condition. So now this thing will be ready once the suspension parts come in. Put it all back together, and this thing's going to go down the road just fine.